the sizzling 60s, but that sounds good. I moved here in 1967 from New Jersey, which some of my classmates thought was a foreign country. I had 2 years here, but it seems like many more when you add all that I spent here in my career. I had taken Russian in a large high school, so I obliged them and let them believe I was from Russia. To say it was a bit of a culture shock moving from a town 12 miles from New York City to what was a rather small southern town where they spoke a different language themselves, and a high school with approximately 500 students is an understatement. But my love for HHS steadfastly grew. In the early 60s was a time of rock and roll, the Beatles, and then the late 60s brought the hippies, the illicit drugs, the Woodstock event, Vietnam War, the military draft, a start of social and political unrest, and the first man to walk on the moon. In Hendersonville for teenagers, there was a teenage canteen underground on Main Street and 4th Avenue. That's where teens could gather and dance, and there was a straight Main Street to drag and meet at Brock's Drive-In afterwards. Later, the teenage canteen moved to Boyd Park, where the city fire station is now. It would host many dances, many Battle of the Bands, and it was strictly supervised by Beulah Morgan, who eventually became my mother-in-law, Elsie Richardson, and Mrs. Brandt. The 4th of July fireworks were set off out here on Dietz Field, where the baseball diamond was. The 1960s was also the time of integration at the Hendersonville City Schools. The 9th Avenue School, the Tigers, which is Hendersonville Junior High School now, was a designated school for African American students and faculty. According to classmates I interviewed, they remembered being in the 8th grade in 1965 when integration occurred, but they don't remember any significant issues. In fact, they felt like it was not a big deal, and they cannot recall any incidents that occurred. They played on sports teams together, they went to class together. Rosalind Rivers was very intelligent, well respected in our class, and was elected secretary of the class of 1969. I presume the first African American class officer. My classmates expressed that there seemed to be more tension when the Hendersonville City and County schools merged in 1993 than during integration. Dr. Ron Moffitt recalls watching the 9th Avenue Tigers play football on Dietz Field before the integration, before they became members of Hendersonville High School here. During the 1960s, Hugh Randall was the superintendent, and R. Hugh Lockerbie, a stern man with a sense of humor, was the principal of HHS. There were many outstanding and well-respected African American leaders in the community and the city school system, including John Marable, Pop Pilgrim, Lem Jones, Pat Jones, Hannah Edwards, Ruby Rivers, Mary Mims. I hate that I may exclude someone by naming the ones that I was familiar with. There's an extensive history of the 9th Avenue School, which is now Henderson Middle School, that was written by Tom Orr. I'm sure most Americans that were alive during this era remember exactly where they were on November 22nd, 1963, the day President John F. Kennedy was shot. I was in class in George Washington Junior High School in Ridgewood, New Jersey. School was dismissed shortly after. It was a very profound effect on our country. The members of the class of 1969 here were in Patty Jones' class at that time at Rosa Edwards when that occurred. In 1966, Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated. And then, on April 4th, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was shot in Memphis, Tennessee. And as he fought for his dream that his 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Classmates here recall a drama festival they were to attend in Charlotte that was canceled after the assassination of MLK. Students were allowed to drive to school, as we did not have school buses for transportation until the merger of the city and county schools. And believe it or not, the dress code required all girls to wear a skirt or dress. Smoking was permitted in the designated smoking area, although some girls preferred to hide and smoke in the bathrooms. The 1960s was also huge for Hendersonville High School in the area of athletics. There was only one gymnasium, the Cracker Box, as the old gym was called, or the Rock Gym, as Bob referred to. The only sport for females when I moved here was six-person basketball, with 2 guards, 2 forwards, and 2 rovers. HHS won a total of 8 state championships in the 60s. They were all males. Those included track 1964, 1968, and 1969. Football 1968, 1969. Cross country 1963, 1964, and baseball 1964. These are outstanding accomplishments for a small 1A school that competed against much larger 3A schools before state championships were divided by size classifications. In the arts, outstanding drama, a theater program was established in the 60s. Tom Moore directed The Glass Menagerie in 1969. The band program constantly set a standard of excellence. Ellen Hobbs began the tradition of decorating the school's halls with students' artwork. When my parents started enrolling me in high school, they were told, if your daughter has serious intentions of attending college, she should enroll at HHS. The academic classes and the faculty had an outstanding reputation. In 1967, HHS had its first prestigious UNC Moorhead Scholar recipient, Casey Jones, followed by the second recipient, Ron Moffitt, in 1969. During my 2 years at HHS, I had the good fortune to attend classes and be taught by many of the iconic HHS faculty members, including Chikora Westmoreland, the queen of vocabulary cards, Christine Croft, Harry Swafford, who was known to throw an eraser your way if you were not paying attention, H.H. Blankenship, Earl Martin, Ellen Hobbs, Tom Orr, Aunt Cecil Kessler, Jim Pardue, Charlie Bird, Gerald E. Hensley, Yes Ma'am, No Ma'am, and There Will Be No I Can't in my class. Mary Mims, the quintessential lady of proper decorum. And ASDF JKL Center, the legend herself, Hannah Edwards. Every day I work on my computer, I am reminded of Hannah and thankful for what she taught me. My experience was so positive that when I completed graduate school and was job hunting, I received a call from Miss Hensley asking me if I would consider coming back to Hendersonville and teaching at Hendersonville Junior High School. Since I didn't have any concrete offers at the time, it sounded great. I accepted that position and thought I'd come back for a few years and then move on. I remained at HJH for 3 years. Then when she retired, Coach Hunt asked me if I would move to HHS and teach and coach. Then it was my good fortune to actually teach, teach with, be a colleague to, and sit in the teacher's lounge with all the iconic faculty of HHS. So after 32 years of teaching, coaching, and an administrative stint, I retired, continued my other careers, and have devoted part of my time to the HHS Alumni Association, and specifically the scholarship program. Traditions such as formal opening of all assemblies, move-up assembly, the laureate, the red and white, decorating for junior senior prom, and the all-night graduation party all set HHS apart and enhanced her history. It's very rare for a public high school to be in the same location for 100 years and have 4 generations of graduates, but that is HHS. And how many public schools have an alumni association that awards over $55,000 in scholarships each year? All in all, the significant time during the 60s was very memorable for HHS, and it was a continuation of a standard of excellence that continues today.